I think that it is an important conversation that we need to have in the framework of like we have a birth crisis. And I think there's two paths that we're seeing as conservatives, the JD Vance path and the Elon Musk path. I'm a big fan of JD Vance's path. He's walking through every single engagement, carrying his kids. He's an engaged dad. He was raised by a single mother. So it's you don't have to be anti-single mom because we have a wonderful vice president thanks to, well, not really thanks to his single mom, really thanks to his grandmother. But we need to make a decision as a society, like how are we going to save ourselves? And it's the JD Vance way.
To think that these are the only two ways to save America and the declining population just shows how out of touch you are, because neither one of these solutions work for most people, because next to nobody has Elon's money to support all these different kids from different women. Not to mention, these aren't the most well-adjusted kids either, and quite frankly, I don't think most people want what Elon's doing. So you saying that's even an option tells me you have no idea what you're talking about, because first off, no one's saying they want that, and second, it's something unattainable for most people, either through lack of means, like money or looks. So no, this Elon method is not happening anytime soon. And as for the JD Vance way, he got together before online dating was ever a thing, before all the crazy standards and what the dating landscape looks today. So if you think the only options are be like Elon and impregnate every girl that says yes, or be like JD Vance and check your local bookstores, then you have no idea what you're talking about, because one method's unattainable and the other one's archaic.
You know, we did a Culture War episode with Candace Horbach and Myron Gaines, and it was about adult content and society and what it was doing. And of course, relationships and marriage were a big component of this. And Myron was saying, don't get married because, you know, with the state, because it's broken and it's bad for you. But he did say having a kid out of wedlock is an L, and I respect that. The problem is then, though, like, so, well, you can't get married. I mean, pick one. Like, what do we do? I think the issue is there are a lot of these guys out there that are like, men shouldn't get married and men should sleep around and men should have babies with as many women as possible because that's an alpha, what an alpha would do. And I'm like, no, that's what a chimp does. I'm not being a dick. I'm like, that's literally how chimps society works.
But also, if you want to have more sex as a man, you will have that sex if you're married. Like, statistically, you are more likely to get laid if you're married. I can text someone in my house and get laid. Like, it really does not get better than that.
First off, Tim, no one's saying that, other than characters like Andrew Tate, who run around and play cartoon versions of feudal lords who had concubines. Next to no one's actually doing this. And to answer your question, what do? Well, you either get a surrogate with the AI waifu as optional, or become a passport bro. And you just ignoring these viable options for the everyday guy either comes from disingenuous or ignorance. Especially now, since you've done a handful of podcasts with the biggest red pill influencers. And as for the woman saying you'll have more sex when you're married, that's just provably wrong, because it always dies out. You may have some outliers here and there, because besides money, it's usually the next reason why people get divorced. So you try to tell guys like it's sex on demand is just flat out wrong. Check out the countless stories in r/dead bedroom if you don't believe me. Stuff like this is exactly why I don't listen to these big influencers or these trad people over 40 on dating. They don't know what they're talking about. They either have too much money so they can't relate with you anymore, or they got together at a time that was very different.